Tympanic segment of facial nerve. The tympanic segment extends from the geniculate ganglion to the horizontal semicircular canal and is about 8 to 11 millimeters in length. This is the extent of the tympanic segment from the geniculate ganglion to the horizontal semicircular canal at about 8 to 11 millimeters in length. Again, from the geniculate ganglion to the level of the horizontal semicircular canal, from which point the mastoid segment starts. This is the tympanic segment of the facial nerve. Again, let us have a look. From the geniculate ganglion, 11 millimeters in length. This is the lateral semicircular canal. The distance from it is just 2 millimeters, and then it turns downwards to constitute the mastoid segment around 11 to 15 millimeters in length. The distance from the round window is 4 millimeters. The tympanic segment of the facial nerve. Geniculate ganglion, lateral semicircular canal. This is the tympanic segment. The nerve passes behind the cochleariform process and the tensor tympani. This is the cochleariform process, the tensor tympani. Behind the cochleariform process, this is the facial nerve. The cochleariform process is the thin osseous projection. This is the cochleariform process, which is a thin osseous projection in the anterior wall of the middle ear that acts as the fulcrum for the tendon of the tensor tympani. It is located at the posterior termination of the semicanal for the tensor tympani, anterosuperior to the oval window, infralateral to the facial canal, proximal tympanic segment. It demarcates the floor of the anterior epitympanic recess. The cochleariform process is a useful landmark for finding the facial nerve. This is the cochleariform process. This is the facial nerve. The tensor tympani courses. This is the tensor tympani muscle. It courses in a semicanal parallel to the eustachian tube, continues along the floor of the tympanic cavity, and near the tympanic segment of the facial nerve takes a 90-degree turn, emerges from the cochleariform process to attach to the undersurface of the malleus, neck, and manubrium. The tensor tympani muscle, the canal, the eustachian tube, and inserting into the malleus. The cochleariform process, and this is the facial nerve. This is a wide-angle view of the middle ear cavity with a clearly visible stapedius. This is the long prosovincus, head of stapes, stapedial tendon, and the tensor tympani tendon. The tympanic meatal flap is elevated in this case to the level of the malleus, and the single black arrow, this shows the stapedius tendon. The double white arrow, the tensor tympani tendon, arising from the cochleariform process, attaching to the undersurface of the malleus neck. The nerve lies against the medial wall. The facial nerve lies against the medial wall above and posterior to the oval window. This is the stapedial crurae, neck of stapes, stapedial tendon. It is above and posterior to the oval window. The wall can be very thin or dehiscent in this area, and the medullary mucosa may lie in direct contact with the facial nerve, the tympanic segment of the facial nerve. This is the cochleariform process, the tensor tympani. The facial canal has been reported to be dehiscent in the area of the oval window in about 25 to 55% of postmortem specimens. Always anticipate finding a dehiscent or prolapsed facial nerve in tympanic segment, especially in patients with congenital ear deformities. The distal portion of the facial nerve emerges from the medulla between the posterior wall of the external canal and the horizontal semicircular canal. This is just distal to the pyramidal eminence where the facial nerve makes a second turn, that is the second genu. The most important, therefore, landmarks for identifying the facial nerve in the mastoid are the horizontal semicircular canal, the fossa incudis, and the digastric ridge. The second genu of the facial nerve runs inferolateral to the lateral semicircular canal. Now, this is a relatively constant relationship. It lies directly inferior and medial to the fossa incudis. Visualizing the fossa incudis is also helpful in that the short process, this is the long process of the incus. The short process of the incus points directly to the second genu of the nerve overlying the lateral canal. This is the facial nerve. This is the chorda tympani, the long process of incus, the lenticular process. In cases in which the lateral canal is difficult to identify, example in cholesteatoma tumor, the use of other landmarks along with cautious exploration is advised. The tympanic segment of the facial nerve from the geniculate ganglion to underneath the lateral semicircular canal, above the oval window, the tympanic segment of the facial nerve. The pyramidal eminence, the facial nerve, the long process of incus, incudostapedial joint, the tendon of the stapedius, and the facial nerve coursing. What are the landmarks? The lateral semicircular canal the nerve runs anteroinferiorly. This is the tympanic segment, the lateral semicircular canal. The short process of incus, the nerve lies medial at the level of the edetus. The digastric ridge, the nerve leaves mastoid at the anterior end of the digastric ridge. The lateral semicircular canal and the facial nerve. The tympanic segment extends from the geniculate ganglion to the lateral semicircular canal. The digastric ridge points to the inferior aspect of the vertical course of the facial nerve. This is the mastoid segment of the facial nerve, and pointing to it is the digastric ridge. In poorly pneumatized temporal bones, the digastric ridge may be difficult to identify. This is the chorda tympani, the chordofacial angle, and the posterior tympanotomy. The distal aspect of the tympanic segment can be surgically located via the facial recess. Approach. The chorda tympani nerve and the fossa incudis can be used to identify the nerve when performing a facial recess approach. Incus, long process of incus, lenticular process. The chorda tympani nerve emerging and separating and passing forwards, the facial nerve, the chordofacial angle, the posterior tympanotomy window. The long process of incus points towards the facial recess. The long process of incus. Exposure of the facial nerve after a cortical mastoidectomy. The facial recess has been opened in this case. The facial nerve, the chorda tympani, the facial recess. The recess is identified using the incus, chorda tympani, and the horizontal semicircular canal. The chorda tympani nerve serves as the lateral margin of the facial recess. The chorda tympani can be exposed along its length and can be followed inferiorly and medially to its takeoff from the main trunk of the facial nerve. This is where it takes off from the main trunk of the facial nerve. In practice, surgeons most likely employ cues from all these landmarks in respecting the integrity of the facial nerve. This is a comprehensive and complete overview of the tympanic segment of the facial nerve.